there's something, I don't feel right about this.
You're being hard on yourself, brother.
Because it's so fucking powerful and it's not coming across. I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like I'm not giving them this experience. I'm not. Right
You are
now.
now.
They're not getting it.
You are. You're doing great right now. Stay with where you
Fuck.
are right now. Keep going. You got it.
Like I can't even begin to express how much this changed my life. From so migraines wasn't just a couple of migraines a month. You know, I have a migraine tracker on my phone. At 20 days of my month, every month for the past 3 years, were devoted to migraine and migraine pain. That is 20 days a month where I avoid because of migraines. I avoided and got migraines. The avoidance was so ingrained in my life that it was there. It was everywhere. And to go into, to get to a point where I still have the tracker on my phone, I've had in the last month and a half, I've had 3 days were migraines. That's even in medical science, even in science fields, in medication, in field studies, they don't see this, right? And so that's when it really came together. Was after we did that, we started working together on the idea of migraines. I fought it. That anger was there. I started opening up. I let that in a bit, started progressing. And then I got to that point where I started living it, living this transformation, living this feeling of, I feel anger, it's okay. Let me do some push-ups. Let me find a way to express this and really not fight that this feeling's happening, but accept that, and not avoid that there's an experience happening. And my existence has become not even in any way matched to what it was 6 months ago. That's the hardest part right now, is trying to get people to fucking understand the change from not in my behavior, not in me, not these changes that I've made, but the acceptance of I am angry at times because I'm a fucking human, and the reason to avoid that, I still don't really truly understand. I don't get why I was avoiding, but avoidance was everywhere in this sense. And
if I can interrupt, you're avoiding today. Like you didn't make the agreement.
Oh, okay, with my provider.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So you're continuing to expand your understanding of avoidance, and as you do that, you're moving into experiences that you would normally not have or repress. And so you're actually creating a new experience of being you. Your experience of being you is now distinctly different as a result of the choices you're making, the self-awareness you have access to. You're in conversations you wouldn't have. You have feelings you wouldn't have.
This is, 6 months ago, and when I started this process, it was avoiding to such an extent that there wasn't any room for choice or any room for not avoiding.
Yeah, and it was happening to you.
And there was no awareness. Yeah, there was no awareness that this
you're
was
avoiding
a choice.
And it's happening to you.
Mhm.
You had zero power in the matter of doing anything to create something in your life.
Yeah, there was again that victim mentality, or just, it was so natural to avoid, and then to have this thing that there are people out there that have serious brain damage, that there's 100% loss of brain mass, and there's things like that. Of course, so it was something my avoidance could latch onto and really use. Because if it was real, right? It wasn't fake. I wasn't lying.
Right.
The pain was real. There's no doubt about the pain that I felt.
Right.
There's nothing, there's no fake, there was no lie there.
Right.
And so my avoidance found something that it could use, and it used it.
Right.
And unbeknownst to me, because I couldn't see it, it was just happening to me. Like you said, it was just happening.
I'm remembering now how I began to see that there was a possibility for you to transform migraines. And it was when you told me that they started after sobriety.
Mhm.
So you were
Yeah.
a number of years into sobriety. And that's when migraines kicked in. And
Yeah.
it was that moment where I got that you were avoiding. You had no outlet. There was no outlet to release the what you were pressing into that cup, right? There was no outlet.
Mhm.
Drugs are gone, the escape is gone, and now you're left having to create your life, having to be responsible, having to be sober, PTSD, all of it. And it's happening to me. So all of that is who Paul thinks Paul is. And out of the basic training, we were able to have an interaction where you began to see, and that piece right there, I think, is something we can't overlook. You were able to start to see, and then, your commitment to the work set in motion something extraordinary. Right.
My that part of me that used avoidance doesn't want this to happen, because there's a risk. I'm at risk right now doing these videos with you, talking to these people. I'm at risk.
And that risk is an example of the new experiences that you're having that do not correlate to migraines. So it's like you decrease the number of experiences that correlate to migraines, and then you increase the experiences that correlate to aliveness, which then also is like a release of the pressure. So you've really, and I'm pulling all this together now in this interaction, really transforming who you are.
I spent years in appointments trying to figure out a problem that I made. And that's hard to fucking live with at first. The idea that another reason why I kept avoiding even confronting this was, how dare you tell me this is me doing this? There's no way I did this to myself for this long.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I'm fucking stuck at home. There's no way I'm fucking miserable. And it's still hard. It's still fucking hard to even see how much pain I put myself in.
Yes, scarred human being.
I mean, I had good people that I needed to get away from. I had all these things happen, and that was all this avoidance. And this is what, like, the power of what TMD gave me, and I'm doing now, right? is what, like, this is good. This is happiness. This is, I can't describe the emotional release to have 20 days, 18 days of my month be mine again, right? To choose now and not be a prisoner in a prison that I made, that I thought someone else made, that I blamed someone else making.
Right.
It's such a fucking, dude, this feeling is what we talk about in recovery. Is I'm living now. And this is why my dedication to TMD, to Pete, to the community is so visceral. And my addiction is now here, is because
I get it.
This, I would be remiss if I didn't do anything to get this to people. It'd be a waste. That's the most selfish act I could ever do, is to keep this to myself and not share this with my community. Would be the same as giving them all heroin again. So this is the power of what TMD, what the community, what Pete, what we all have to offer, and really, I mean, I can't, again, you have to experience this shit. You just have to. This is the only thing like it, man.
How you doing?
Come a long way.
Stay with it. You're doing great.
Sitting in the same room that I created a prison out of And now I'm creating.
It's okay.
It's amazing.
I am amazing.
I'm amazing.
Right.
It's real. It's real. That's
Yeah, I am real.
I'm real. I'm real.
I'm real powerful. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're saying, right? That you're way more powerful than you realized.
I crave it.
Well, take the word responsibility. So that's the ability to respond. Right. So you were being irresponsible, like your boss would talk to you. You were irresponsible, meaning unable to respond. You weren't being responsible, meaning having the ability to respond. You were being irresponsible, meaning unable to respond, unable to manage boundaries, set boundaries, say no, say yes, et cetera, et cetera. And so as you expand your capacity to account for, meaning be accountable, and as you expand your ability to respond, meaning be responsible, then you become, you could say, the creator of your life. And like, when you get what I'm saying, it's not a concept, right? It's a reality that I am creating my life experience. I am creating what's possible in my life experience. So it's extraordinary for a human being to get that. And it's, nice in this moment to be here with you now.
This is not what you've experienced before. And really, if you want to prove me wrong, come do it. Talk to me. Reach out to me. If you want to talk to me about anything, just fucking talk to me. My email is in the description below, and same with Pete. And I really encourage you guys to just reach out. You're not alone. There's something else out there for you.
Today's video is about avoid, explode. And for you, what you shared today is that you were exploding via migraines, and you were avoiding unconsciously in every moment of your life. And as
every single moment, yeah.
And as you were able to see that, get that, you created space to heal. And you're in the midst now, you're in the journey now of continuing to explore all the ways in which you are still unconsciously avoiding. And it's you could say it's as simple as, am I choosing to be at risk in this moment? Am I living life like I have one day left to live?
Yeah.
Or am I living life like that life's happening to me and I have no power and I have no control and I'm a victim, dead and depressed? What would you do if you had, one day to live? And how would you go about living your life? How would you go about interacting with, the person you were talking to earlier? How would that interaction have gone if you were not going to be here tomorrow? You'd have urgency. You'd be unreasonable in the matter of your interaction.
Very.
Right. Whereas you wouldn't be invested in someone liking you because you weren't going to be here. You're going to be dead.
Okay, right? Talk about freedom.